Hi there, everybody. I hope that you're doing fine wherever you are today. This is Eugene Duck Stories here with another video. I hope you all doing on just fine. Now, for the longest time, I think we black people we are so lenient with a lot of people, and I think our leniency people are taking advantage of it. And as much as we tend to think that we can solve anything, we can solve everything, and as much as we can see to ourselves the atrocities that history as every black person in any part of the world have gone through, these will never change, because this is how the psychology of some white people think. Initially, we thought that something like slavery is something which is so inhuman, which is something that most of people regret it happened. We have some people who came out to apologize for the mistakes that their forefathers did. Well, on the other side, we have these white people who still think that if slavery could be brought back, it's something which could have been okay, because regarding the issues of state, and if states want slave for the country, quote unquote United States, to be okay, they would prefer it. They would prefer if they still have slaves, and it's not just slaves, black slaves. So this shows you black people, in as much as we might try to unify, in as much as we might try to bring unity amongst ourselves, there are some people who still thinks that owning and having black slaves, even today, it's okay. So I want us to watch this video. This lady shared this in an open podcast, and everyone was shocked. Like, even some white people were shocked by this occurrence. I just want you to let me know what you think about this video. Most definitely, I really want to know what you think about it. I want us to watch this video, then I'll be back with my commentary. And most definitely, I'll ask you, if you're watching this video for the first time, I'll most definitely ask you to kindly subscribe, like the video, so that so many people can get to see how real these people think. Also, thank you for those who are supporting me through my Cash App. I will still like to remind you that if you're willing to support me through my Cash App, I'll really appreciate. So let's dive right into the video. I'll be back with my commentary.
Alabama wanted slavery back, you'd be okay with that?
Sure. If everyone in the state wants it, go ahead. What do I give a okay.
All right. Well, let's.
There's no way. There's no way. I don't even gotta know the whole conversation. She talking about if everybody in Alabama, I live in Alabama. If everybody in Alabama wanted, there's no way she said this without trying to get some attention. There's no way she genuinely could believe this. There's no way she could really say this. No, bro. That's actually crazy. She literally said that because he backed her in a corner, and she couldn't be wrong. She literally just could not, her being just could not be wrong. So she said, let me say yes, even though it's ignorant, but I'll be able to stand on my point and not be wrong. I need to track this. Wow. People aren't even hiding it anymore. They're not even, people used to at least hide it. They're not even hiding it anymore.
Sometimes people that don't know what they're talking about shouldn't speak. I'm not going to be too hard. I'm going to rip them a new one. Because both the guy and the girl in this video are probably speaking to a lot of people at once, and they're just making their brains mushy as much as theirs are. So let's talk about two of the things that they talked about. Number one, the girl, when she says that reproductive rights for women, that should go back to the state, and if everybody in the state votes for it, then she's fine with it. And the guy correctly points out that's called a confederacy, and that was, there was a whole war about that, and they lost, because if you allow states to decide issues like reproductive rights for women, then you will have states like Alabama and Texas that have one sets of rules, and then other states that have other sets of rules. So in the states where women may feel and are oppressed by those rules and denied access to benefits that people in other states have, so they would have to leave that state, which is a point of privilege to be able to travel somewhere for your health care. But the people that are stuck there don't get the same rights and benefits as people in other states. That's called a confederacy. That's not what we are. And also, that allows, the second thing that I take issue with is the rule of the majority cannot deny the rights to the minority. We seem to be in this world of political states that it is win, lose, me, you, left and right, and that is not how our system of government really works. In the state of Alabama, which we get the heat all the time, that they say they get what they should deserve because they vote for the Republicans all the time, right? However, if you look at the vote turnout, I've said this many times, it's 60-40, 58-42 in the vote totals. So when you say, okay, if 58% of the people vote to deny access to women's reproductive health services in the state of Alabama, then that 42% of people are SOL, and you're fine with that. You're fine with oppressing the rights of those people because the 58% are jackasses that say, I don't care what you want to do. We're going to do it my way. If you don't like it, move. And then what you're left with are only the privileged people can afford to leave or move or uproot their lives. And then you get the people that are stuck here, which need help the most. And then they are the ones that suffer the most. So when you say things, I'd like you to think about them. This guy did a fair job of calling her out with her idiocy, but he didn't do it strong enough. Listen, if you do not want to get an abortion, don't get one. But you don't have the right to force every other woman in this country to bend to your will. I don't care what your beliefs are. That's called freedom. Freedom of personal choice. Freedom is what we stand on, not suppressing freedom of others because of our personal beliefs. It saddens me that these two young people, which seem to be very articulate and probably pretty smart, but they live out there in that privileged world of Los Angeles that says, well, if the people in Alabama, F them, right? And that is a sad thing, to be so young and so ill-informed and so dumb. But there you go. It's rampant, isn't it? Hope I've given you a little food for thought and helped educate you on how a representative democracy works in this world. And always remember, just because you are in the majority and had the most votes does not mean that you get to oppress other people's personal freedoms and rights because of your iron fist of will. Good luck. Everybody remember to vote. This is a prime example. Vote.
In Alabama wanted slavery back, you'd be okay with that?
Sure. If everyone in the state wants.
Really? And you know why she can just so flippantly say, yeah, sure, I'd have no problem with it if Alabama wanted to bring slavery back? Because she knows deep down inside it would not be her being the slave. And how can you be so uncaring of your fellow Americans, your fellow humans, of people, period? Some days, I swear, I mean, this is white privilege to its fullest. Oh yeah, it wouldn't impact me, so yeah, I wouldn't have any problems with it impacting other people.
Back, you'd be okay with that?
Sure.
This is a message for all of y'all that be looking at me with sideways eyes and funny faces that y'all think I don't know y'all be doing, but I know y'all be doing it because you may not be doing it to my face, but I see it when you choose not to like my stuff and you choose not to engage my stuff and you quietly unfollow. This shit right here, this is why I say sometimes the only answer is violence, actually. Old girl got on there, wholesale said, with her entire motherfucking chest said, well, you know, if it was voted in, I'm completely okay with everybody being okay with fucking slavery coming back. And y'all are trying to sit here and tell me this go high when they go low bullshit. There are some situations in life like that one where the only correct answer is a swift fucking punch to the throat. Like this thing where they're all slack-jawed and shocked and just and they don't want to say anything, like, let's move on to the next question. No, dude, that immediate knee-jerk response that you had where you wanted to move your mic and slap the shit out of her would have been 100% validated. Because what the fuck do you mean if it's voted in, I guess we're going back to slavery, LOL Lamau? I know at the bare minimum they're going to be like, oh, well, she's not going to come back on the show. Y'all should have beat the shit out of her. Y'all should have cut the cameras at that precise moment and JoJo the ever-living dog shit out of her.
Did you know black women were not able to file rape charges against white men until 1861? Did you also know that the rape of a black woman by any man was considered legal in some of the states until 1950s, around there? That's not even too long ago. And when rape itself officially became illegal, it was still not a crime to rape a black woman in some states. So you're telling me that if everyone in whatever state wants that back, you're telling me that they should have that back? That's what I'm understanding from whatever it is that you just said. Let's even go a little further. Did you know that black people weren't allowed to attend desegregated schools until 1954? Let me clarify. 1954 is when the law was passed, but schools still remained segregated until, what, 1968? Which isn't even that long ago. That's just like 56 years ago. I'm sure you're familiar with all the rest of the issues, but what you have to understand is that this is still a fresh issue for us, right? Some of our parents have gone through this period, right? And it wasn't pretty. And some of us still deal with that today, right? So for you to say that if states want to bring slavery back, that they should, is, I don't even have the words.
I was today years old when I found out who Amanda Steiny was. And I really could have gone another, 50 years without ever knowing she existed. As a white woman, I don't claim her. We don't. That is just like, I just saw her interview where she literally said that she wouldn't care if slavery was brought back because the state wanted it. She literally sat there and said, oh, well, if the state all wants it, then yeah, I don't care. Do you give a shit? And looks at her partner that's on the podcast with her. And the thing is, right, she thinks she eats down in all of the interviews now, because I went down a deep rabbit hole after I saw this. Excuse me. I went down a deep rabbit hole of her interviews, right? And I don't know who's gonna tell her. She doesn't eat down anyone. She actually just looks so uneducated and has no actual opinion. She has no sorry. She has a very strong opinion. What I meant to say was she has no actual arguments to back up her very strong opinions. Oh my, yeah, no. No thanks.
If everyone in Alabama wanted slavery back, you'd be okay with that?
Sure. If everyone.
The fucking quickness that young lady answered that young man says all you need to know about fucking white privilege. She is okay with slavery coming back as long as the state, everybody in the state wanted it. The quickness that young lady answered is appalling. This is what's wrong with the United States of America. People just like her.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I just hope that you're doing fine wherever you are today, and I hope that you've seen it for yourself without nobody telling you. This shows you that in as much as we black people, we are trying to move away from that type of life. Imagine the type of life that black people went through. I wasn't there. Maybe you wasn't there. But black people in the United States are still feeling the effects of slavery. And sometimes, sometimes I do hear stories. I have black friends in the United States that sometimes tell me stories, and I was like, damn, brother, I'm really, really sorry for what happened to you. And now imagine there's a person who just want to bring this back, like the states want slaves, want black slaves back. Like it's something which is just okay to them to happen. Where did humanity go? That's the question. And look, I don't always like dividing people. I'm a person that I'll say, I understand that not all white people are bad people. And that's still the truth, and it stands still like right now. But the thing is, in as much as we want good for the universality of everyone, not all white people thinks the same. Why some white people are still viewing some black people as commodity, to the extent that if the states want slaves today, the economy is really bad, people want things to change, they want that, So it really, really makes me think, makes me feel way different about some things which are really, really happening around us. And in as much as we are trying to see it forward, this is going to shape how we think. This is going to shape any decision that any black person is going to make, whether you are in the United States or any other globally. I mean, wherever you are. It's so look, in as much as we are always fighting for the unity of everybody, I think that it's not everyone that thinks for us the same. Like we are always thinking for other group of people. So this is just something to remind you that we black people, we need to be vigilant. And it also shows you how still some people think about black people. And this is something that we need to put at the back of our minds. We need to just think about it. And I'll say it again, in as much as we are always thinking for the good of everyone, in as much as we are always thinking for the better of everyone, because everything that black people have ever advocated for, it's always for everyone. It's not always for blacks only. No, it's always for everyone. Everything that a black person has ever advocated for. Look at the affirmative action. Look at women's rights and everything. It's always about everybody. The Black Lives Matter is not only for the blacks. It is also for other groups, right? Today, the economic system in the United States is failing a lot of people. People are complaining about the high living standards. People are complaining about the cost of housing is really getting out of hand. But people are calling black people for unity. How will you expect black people to help you if this is what you still think, that if the state wants slave to make the economy work, you'll still bring black people? You can give it, and it's okay, and like it's nothing. I mean, they not like human being to you. They just like some commodity that you'll just like you'll just like to use and just leave, right? Because that's how I see it. That's how I see you feel about it. You know what I'm saying? So this is a very messed up situation that I don't recommend it happening to anybody else, but it is happening. It is happening with us, within ourselves. I was really, really heartbroken. But again, I was not surprised, bearing what history has been having towards this group of people. And I said, I won't generalize all white people in this category, because I understand the difference of white supremacy and there's a white person and a white supremacist. There is a difference. Yeah, I understand that. But trust me, there is so much more that we black people we need to do for the betterment, for the future of black people generally, because we tend to think for other people, but now start thinking about us, because you can see how they think about us. Today is in the 21st century, the year 2024, just a few months to 2025, but we still have some people who are still thinking like that. We still have some people who are still thinking that we are just some goats or some sheep that could be used to, like some donkeys that could be used to do any task, and like it's okay, you're not human being. You can just be used like any other thing. So it's not cool, it's not great. This is something that we don't support this. Black people, we don't uphold certain type of inhuman behavior towards living humans. It's not just about being black person. Treat other people like human being. That's all we demand for. And we need to stand for ourselves. Whether you're in Africa, whether you're outside Africa, whether you're in the United States, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything. Okay? So most definitely tell me what you think about this video in the comment section. I really want to know how you feel about this. These are presented Jintok Stories, and until then, peace, love, and harmony. Salute.